This video is about exponents and polynomials as well as scientific notation, and our objective is to be able to convert between standard notation and scientific notation. Before we get going here, I have to throw out a general statement. When you have a positive exponent, so I'm just going to write this down. If you have a positive exponent, that means you are dealing with a number that is bigger than 1. On the flip side of that, if you have a negative exponent, that means you have a number you are dealing with that is less than 1. All right, and that comes into play when we start dealing with scientific notation. So the first part of scientific notation simply says, hey, let's find the value. Let's find the value of something that looks like this. So on your notes, write this down. 6.94 times 10 to the 5th power. First of all, we are multiplying by a power of 10 with a positive exponent. So our number is going to be definitely bigger than 1. But simply put, what we will do is we will take this decimal place, this decimal point in between the 6 and the 9, and because it's positive 5, we will move it 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now anywhere that there is a loop without a number, we will add a 0. So long story short here, we have 694 with 3 zeros attached to it, making 694,000. Let's try another one. What if we had 84 times 10 to the negative 4 power? Well, the decimal point on any whole number, integer, is at the very end. This is 84.0. However, you never see the 0. You don't see people writing those numbers, 84.0 like I just did. But when you're dealing with scientific notation, it's a very good idea to throw it in there. We know where the decimal point is now. It's telling us to move it 4 times negative to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my new decimal point. So this equals point. Anywhere there's a loop without a number, you add the number 0. So this answer is 0.0084. And that should make sense because of this guy, negative exponent. The number is less than 1. Okay, let's go the other direction. All right, let's go from standard notation, and let's go ahead and put numbers in scientific notation. Now, what exactly is scientific notation? Well, it's a tool that we use. Scientific notation is a tool for people to use in order to write numbers that are very large versus very small. So scientific notation, what does it equal? It equals a number, some number out there, times 10 raised to some exponent. This number, however, better be between 1 and 10. So in this example problem, number 1 here, if we have 1,735, right now the decimal is after the 5. We need to place it somewhere that makes a number in between 1 and 10. So if I go ahead and place the decimal here, that's 173.5. That's not in between 1 and 10, is it? If I place it here, in between 17, the 7 and 3, which makes 17.35. Nope. Nice try. We need in between 1 and 7, because that's 1.375. 1.735, excuse me. And that number is definitely between 1 and 10. So, how did I go from here and travel there? How many units did I travel? Well, 1, 2, 3. I traveled 3 times in the direction to the left. So what that means for my answer here is I will write 1.735 times 10 to the, and this is the kind of tricky part. You're trying to figure out, hey, wait a minute. from the decimal did I have to travel right or left to get 1,735? Even though you are going left with your decimal from the previous slide, it would make you believe that you should write 10 to the negative 3. I must warn you guys, when you have larger numbers, your exponent is positive. When you have smaller numbers, numbers that are less than 1, then you go ahead and write that negative sign. So what am I talking about? Well, let's talk about something like this. 0.00036. Let's rewrite this in scientific notation. So the decimal needs to become 3.6. The decimal needs to travel how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3.6, that number is in between 1 and 10 times 10. Now this is where you will have a negative exponent because we're dealing with a number that's lower than 1. So how many times did I move? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3.6 times 10 to the negative 4. And that is how you do scientific notation. Your assignment is the exponent of polynomials worksheet number 1, which has a icon that is a trumpet. So give it a shot and ask for help if needed.